Hello and welcome to the news update on Papyrus Global TV. I am Christiana Babayo. Court bars resident doctors from commencing nationwide strike. Ugochinyere back Trump's Venezuela move, demand arrest of Imo riggers. VP Shettima vows total military empowerment to crush insecurity. Former commissioner dumps ruling party for ADC. Niger State and federal government partner on integrated farm settlements. Rivers elders plead for restraint as impeachment cloud hangs over state. Wike breaks silence on Rivers crisis, urges unity for progress. And now the news in full. The National Industrial Court in Abuja has allegedly issued an interim injunction restraining the Nigeria Association of Resident Doctors (NARD) from proceeding with its nationwide strike scheduled to begin on Monday, January 12th. The ruling was delivered on Friday, January 9th, following an ex parte application filed by the Federal Ministry of Health and the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation. Presiding Judge Justice Benedict Kanyib ordered the doctors to maintain the status quo pending the hearing and determination of the substantive suit. The government argued that the total shutdown of the health sector would cause irreparable damage to public health and create national emergency. The doctors had threatened to shut down tools over non-implementation of the 2024 Memorandum of Understanding, which included demands for the upward review of the Consolidated Medical Salary Structure (CONMES) and the payment of outstanding arrears. Following the court order, the leadership of the NARD has scheduled an emergency National Executive Council meeting for Saturday to deliberate on legal options. While the federal government has invited the association for a fresh round of negotiations, the Ministry of Health warned that any defiance of the court order would be treated as contempt. For now, all resident doctors have been directed to remain at their duty posts to ensure uninterrupted medical services across the country. Representative Ikenga Imo Ugochinyere, chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream, has lauded the recent diplomatic actions taken by US President Donald Trump regarding democratic accountability in Venezuela. In a statement released on Friday, January 9, 2026, the lawmaker urged the international community to apply similar pressure to protect the sanctity of the ballot in Nigeria, specifically referencing the political situation in Imo State. Ugochinyere, who represents the Ideato North-South Federal Constituency, argued that global democratic standards must be universal. He called on the United States and the United Kingdom to impose immediate visa bans and seize assets belonging to specific individuals he accused of masterminding the brazen rigging of recent local and state-level elections in Imo. He emphasized that without international consequences for electoral offenders, Nigeria's democracy remains under threat from political hijackers. The lawmakers' comments follow a series of disputed local government polls in the southeast, which have been marred by allegations of violence and result manipulation. Ugochinyere urged President Bola Tinubu to direct security agencies to arrest and prosecute those identified in various petitions as electoral saboteurs. As of Friday evening, the Imo State government has not issued an official rebuttal to the lawmakers' claims, while the All Progressives Congress in the state maintains that its victories were a true reflection of the people's will. Vice President Kashim Shettima has reaffirmed the federal government's commitment to providing the Nigerian Armed Forces with all necessary resources to decisively end the country's security challenges. Speaking at a high-level security briefing in Abuja on Friday, January 9th, the Vice President emphasized that the administration of President Bola Tinubu is prioritizing the modernization of military hardware and the welfare of personnel to ensure a total victory over insurgents and bandits. The Vice President noted that the government is moving beyond traditional defensive strategies to a more aggressive technology-driven approach. This includes the acquisition of advanced surveillance drones and enhanced intelligence sharing capabilities. Shettima praised the unwavering patriotism of the troops on the front lines and assured them that the government will not rest until every inch of Nigerian territory is safe for citizens to live and farm without fear. The briefing comes on the heels of several successful military operations in the northwest and north-central zones. Shettima urged the military leadership to maintain the current momentum, momentum, stating that the government is prepared to make the difficult financial sacrifices required to fund these operations. He also called on Nigerians to support the security agencies with credible information, stressing that the fight against insecurity is a collective national responsibility. The political landscape in Kaduna State shifted on Friday, January 9, 2026, as Alhaji Muhammad Usman, a former commissioner for education, officially defected from the All Progressives Congress (APC) to the African Democratic Congress (ADC). Usman, who served under the previous administration, announced his decision at a press conference in Kaduna, citing internal exclusion and the departure from the party's founding principles as his primary reasons for leaving. Welcomed by the ADC state chairman and other party stalwarts, Usman stated that his move was not just a change of platform, but a search for a more people-centered political ideology. He criticized the current state of the APC in Kaduna, alleging that the party had become a closed shop, where loyalists were being sidelined in favor of a narrow circle of interests. He promised to lead thousands of his supporters across the 23 LGAs of the state into his new party. The ADC leadership described Usman's defection as a major catch that signals the party's growing influence in northern Nigeria ahead of the 2027 general elections. Political analysts suggest that his move could trigger a wave of further defections from the APC in Kaduna, especially among aggrieved members who served during the Malam Nasir El-Rufai era.
We will now go on a short break, and when we come back, the news will continue. Stay tuned.
The Papiros Global, we don't just cover events, we create cinematic experiences. From red carpets to birthdays, gala dinners, and your fairy tale weddings, we bring your moments to life with high-tech precision. Our gadgets are smarter, our lenses sharper, and our team simply world-class. Trust the Papiros Global to tell your story in the boldest, brightest way possible.
Welcome back, and now the news will continue.
The federal government has officially launched the Integrated Farm Housing Communities Project, a transformative initiative designed to tackle food insecurity and rural-urban migration simultaneously. During the unveiling on Friday, January 9, the Niger State government took a leading role by offering expansive tracts of land to host the pilot phase of the scheme. The project, spearheaded by the National Agricultural Land Development Authority, aims to build self-sustaining communities where farmers are provided with modern housing, irrigation facilities, and processing centers within their residential areas by integrating living spaces with farmlands. The government intends to reduce logistics and increase the attractiveness of agriculture to the youth. The Niger State Governor Mohammed Umar Bago stated that the state's contribution is a commitment to the New Niger Agenda, which prioritizes large-scale commercial agriculture as the state's economic backbone. The government plans to replicate this model across the 6 geopolitical zones, with a goal of establishing 100 such communities by the end of 2027. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security Senator Abubakar Kyari noted that the initiative would not only boost food production, but also provide a dignified life for smallholder farms. As of Saturday, several other states, including Benue and Jigawa, have reportedly expressed interest in providing land for the next phase of the rollout. Following the recent move by the Rivers State House of Assembly to serve a fresh impeachment notice on Governor Siminalayi Fubara, the Rivers State Elders Council has called for immediate restraint to prevent a total breakdown of law and order. In a statement released on Friday, January 9th, the elders, led by former Governor Chief Rufus Ada George, warned that the state cannot afford another round of political instability. The caution comes after the House, led by Speaker Martin Emeule, accused the governor of fresh constitutional breaches, including alleged extra-budgetary spending and the continued withholding of funds meant for the assembly. The elders expressed concern that the escalating rift between the executive and legislature, linked to the ongoing friction between the governor and his predecessor, Wike, is crippling governance and discouraging investment in the state. While acknowledging the constitutional powers of the legislature, the elders The Elders Council urged lawmakers to prioritize the peace and progress of the state over partisan vendettas. They called for a high-level mediation session involving traditional rulers and religious leaders to resolve the impasse through dialogue rather than impeachment. Meanwhile, supporters of Governor Fubara have vowed to resist any unconstitutional attempt to remove him, as security has been tightened around the government house and the assembly complex in Port Harcourt. Amidst the escalating political tension in Rivers State, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Wike, has called on the people of the state to prioritize unity and peace to ensure sustainable development. Speaking at a gathering on Friday, January 9, 2026, Wike emphasized that without a stable political environment, the progress achieved in recent years would be undermined. Wike's call for unity comes at a critical moment as the Rivers State House of Assembly recently initiated fresh impeachment proceedings against his successor, Governor Siminalayi Fubara. While the minister did not directly reference the impeachment move, he stressed that politics should not be a reason to destroy the state. He urged stakeholders to put the interests of Rivers State above personal and partisan differences, noting that the state remains a strategic hope for Nigeria's economy. The minister's remarks are being viewed by analysts as a potential opening for reconciliation following months of public friction between his supporters and those of Governor Fubara. Wike stated that his primary interest has always been the growth and prosperity of the state he once governed. Despite the olive branch of unity, security remains tight in Port Harcourt as the legislative battle continues to unfold. And that's all we have on the news update on Papyrus Global TV. I am Christiana Babayo. Thanks for joining us.